The stars forgot about Earth. And for a time, we let them. Peace had made us invisible, until someone mistook our silence for weakness. When the Galactic Accord was formed, Earth declined the invitation. We'd fought enough wars to know that peace written on alien parchment wasn't peace at all. It was exhaustion dressed in ceremony. The other species traded alliances, fleets, and blood across the stars, while Earth sat behind its orbital shields, rebuilding quietly. For a century, humans turned inward. No more colonies. No more expansions. Just silence, broken only by the hum of repair drones stitching continents back together. We sent no diplomats, launched no new fleets, and let our name fade into the background noise of a vast and restless galaxy. To most, we became myth. To some, a cautionary tale. To the young empires who'd never seen a Terran warship, we were the passive species, content to farm the ashes of our own mistakes. They didn't know what kind of peace we'd bought. Because Earth never disarmed. We just went quiet. And when humans go quiet, something is building. The first incident was small, a skirmish on the rim of known space. The Karth Dominion claimed an abandoned Terran relay station, one of thousands left to drift after the Exodus era. The Dominion expected no resistance. Why would they? Earth hadn't spoken to anyone in 130 years. Their mistake wasn't in taking the station.
It was in broadcasting it.
The signal reached Earth within minutes. 3 hours later, the Dominion scout fleet vanished from the network. No distress signal. No debris. Just silence echoing the kind Earth had perfected. The galaxy watched in confusion. Then concern. And then fear. Because the broadcast stopped mid-sentence, replaced by 6 words burned into the carrier frequency in every known language. This is Terran property. Do not touch. No signature. No coordinates. Just the message, cold, final, and unmistakably human. On Earth, the lights of the old war bunkers flickered back to life. Satellite grids began to move again, reweaving old orbital paths. Commanders who'd been legends only in history books were reactivated by voice authorization codes no one believed still worked. Peace. One of them muttered as he stepped into the light of the war room. It's over. Cliffhanger. Because somewhere, deep beneath the surface of Earth, the long-slumbering Terran fleet opened its eyes, and the galaxy's silence was about to end. When Earth's message went out, the galaxy didn't just listen, it stopped breathing. No empire, no council, no admiral had ever heard that tone from a human transmission before. It wasn't anger. It was a warning, cold, surgical, and terrifyingly calm. In the Grand Council of the Accord, panic disguised itself as diplomacy. Holoscreens glowed across the chamber, filled with jittering alien dignitaries. Some shouted, some whispered, some just stared at the frozen image of those 6 words. This is Terran property. Do not touch. Perhaps it's a bluff, said the Kyrax delegate, her mandibles clicking nervously. They've been dormant for a century. Their military infrastructure must be degraded, obsolete. But the Zarn warlord beside her leaned forward, one eye glowing faintly red. Obsolete, he growled. Then tell me, where is the Dominion fleet? 200 ships do not vanish into obsolete silence. Across the chamber, no one answered. The Terrans hadn't declared war. They hadn't moved a fleet. They hadn't even shown their faces. But a single transmission had broken the illusion of galactic order. Rumors spread like wildfire through the trade networks. Freighters whispered of human shadows following their jumps. Navigation buoys began to go dark near Sol's sector, as if something was rewriting their star maps. And then came the real horror. Reports of music. Out there, beyond the edge of mapped space, some ships swore they picked up faint, ancient Earth frequencies, fragments of symphonies, static, laced with lullabies. A psychological weapon, some said. Others knew better. It wasn't a weapon. It was an announcement. Meanwhile, the Karth Dominion struggled to contain its own panic. The Emperor demanded proof of life from the missing fleet. His admirals sent probe after probe into the last known coordinates. None returned. Then, on the 4th attempt, a probe succeeded. It broadcast one final image before transmission cut off. A Terran battleship. Dark, massive, and silent. Its hull carved with the name Erebus, a ghost from Earth's ancient war archives. It shouldn't have existed. It was from a fleet that predated warp travel. And yet it was there, awake and waiting. In the outer colonies, children began to repeat a phrase once banned from human history lessons. If Earth rises, the stars will tremble. To the older species, it sounded like myth. To humans scattered across the colonies, it sounded like home calling. Back on Earth, the High Command Council convened in a bunker deep beneath the Andes. Generals who hadn't spoken in lifetimes now stood shoulder to shoulder again, listening to the hum of newly awakened orbital relays. The Prime Executor broke the silence. "Do we engage?" The old admiral smiled faintly. "Not yet. Let them remember what fear feels like." And across the galaxy, sensors began to light up, one by one, as the dormant Terran fleet rose from the dark. No message this time. No warning. Just the unmistakable signature of Earth preparing for war. They didn't mean to start a war. They only meant to test us. But the moment their ships fired on a Terran patrol, every human in the galaxy felt something ancient ignite, something the stars themselves had forgotten. Wrath with a conscience. The Karth Dominion believed in dominance through demonstration. So when Earth's warning blanketed every communication line, they chose arrogance over caution. A controlled incursion, they called it, strike a single human vessel, recover a wreck, study its tech. They never even reached the wreck. The Dominion's first engagement occurred near Proxima Centauri. A scouting flotilla of 8 cruisers encountered what they thought was an abandoned human listening post. The moment they powered targeting sensors, the stars themselves seemed to flicker. Then, space bent. Out of the void, something vast emerged. No drive wake, no jump signature, no warning. The Dominion's lead ship, KDV Ravager, identified the mass as a Terran mobile structure right before its hull began to melt. A voice came through every frequency at once. Not shouted. Not even raised. Just spoken.
"This is Earth Command.
You have violated soul-protected space. You will now learn the price of curiosity." What followed wasn't a battle. It was an erasure. The Terran ship, a behemoth identified later as TSV Erebus Prime, didn't fire missiles or beams. It used directed graviton pressure, folding enemy hulls inward until they imploded silently. The entire Karth flotilla vanished in less than 12 seconds. And then, just as suddenly, the Erebus Prime powered down and drifted back into shadow. No pursuit. No message. Just silence. Again. Across the galaxy, the reaction was immediate chaos. Civilian networks exploded with fear. News feeds filled with old human war footage, grainy archives of Earth's world wars, nuclear detonations, orbital strikes. And the phrase, soul-protected space, began trending across every major data channel. The Dominion sent envoys to beg for peace, claiming it was all a misunderstanding. But Earth didn't reply. Because Earth doesn't negotiate after it's been attacked. It evaluates. In the Andes war room, holograms of alien fleets shimmered above the table. "Dominion numbers?" the Prime Executor asked. 7 million ships, replied a general. "But they rely on relay command. Cut that and their structure collapses." "Good," the executor said. "Prepare the relay." The general hesitated. "Sir, are we declaring war?" The old man's eyes hardened.
"No.
We're making an example." Hours later, Terran probes seated across Dominion space began broadcasting a synchronized pulse, low frequency, harmless, until you realized what it carried. Coordinates. Every Dominion Fleet Command node, every central relay, every planetary broadcast hub, marked in an instant. At 0300 Terran Standard, orbital signatures lit the Dominion home system. The Erebus Prime returned, this time not alone. Hundreds of Terran ships emerged, silent and black, their hulls bearing names that hadn't been spoken since the Age of Fire. Valkyrie, Resolute, Nemesis, Archangel. They didn't transmit demands. They didn't request surrender. They simply opened every Dominion channel and played one recording, grainy, ancient, unmistakable, the sound of human thunder. When the strikes began, they were surgical relay nodes, communication arrays, fleet headquarters, all gone in less than 5 minutes. Then, silence again. No occupation. No scorched planets. Just erasure of command. And that was when the galaxy finally understood. Humanity doesn't conquer. It ends things. As the last Dominion transmission flickered out, a single encrypted message went out to every major power in the galaxy. Origin. Sole command. It read, "We did not seek this. But if you come for us again, we will finish what history started." And at the bottom, the signature glowed like a curse reborn. Terran Union reactivated. Every star system fell silent when the words, Terran Union reactivated, appeared on their comms. No threats. No demands. No fleets on the horizon. Just the quiet weight of history itself, returning. For the first time in living memory, the galaxy was afraid to speak. The Dominion surrender came not in days, but in hours. Entire sectors went dark, governors defecting before Earth even acknowledged their existence. When Terran Fleet Command finally opened a channel, the Dominion Emperor's image appeared, broken, trembling, and small. "This was a mistake," he managed. "We misjudged your people." The reply came from Admiral Cale Reese, commander of the Terran Union fleet. He didn't wear medals. He didn't shout. He simply looked at the Emperor as though studying an old photograph. "You didn't misjudge us," Reese said quietly. "You forgot what we were built for." Then the transmission ended. No retaliation. No execution. The Dominion was left to govern its ruins, its punishment not destruction, but memory. Because Earth understood something no one else did. Fear fades, but guilt endures. Across the galaxy, the ripple spread. Empires, once proud, began retreating from Terran sectors. Pirates vanished. Trade routes reorganized overnight to avoid anything within 50 light-years of Sol. Yet, something unexpected happened. Worlds began calling Earth, not to surrender, but to ask for aid. The Authari colonies, ravaged by war, sent envoys requesting humanitarian technology. The Clython assemblage asked to reopen scientific exchange programs. Even the cautious Council of Rin offered a proposal for joint peacekeeping. The galaxy had seen power before, but it had never seen mercy follow it. Within months, humanity was no longer silent. Solar relays lit up across the void. Orbital cities reconnected. Children on distant human colonies finally saw Earth's light delay, blue, soft, steady. The reactivation of the Terran Union wasn't a return to empire. It was a return to presence. And while alien historians would spend centuries debating whether the Karth Dominion incident was justified, one truth became universal. No one would ever again mistake Earth's quiet for weakness. Admiral Reese stood once more in the war room beneath the Andes, the ancient monitors now displaying peace treaties instead of battle plans. A young officer approached, hesitant. "Sir, will we stay out of the next war?" Reese smiled faintly. "If there's a next one, it won't start without us knowing." "But no, Earth doesn't stay out anymore. We guide." He turned toward the window, where the rising sun glinted off the first new Terran ship built in a century. Its name was simple, carved in white along a sleek black hull. Unity. And as the Terran Union fleet sailed once more among the stars, the galaxy finally remembered. Peace is never guaranteed. Not while humanity still remembers how to fight for it.